There are places where even geology seems to defy the very rules that shaped the Earth. A desert sustains hundreds of lakes. A mountain once lay beneath the ocean floor. An underground world so vast that every sense of scale becomes meaningless. Each place poses a question that science cannot answer with a single glance. And the deeper you go, the harder the familiar becomes to explain. On most mountains, people look up to find the summit. At Huanshan, they look down to see a sea. Below lies a flowing ocean of clouds, while ahead stand cliffs where pine trees have clung to the rock for nearly 1,000 years. Around 100 million years ago, this place lay beneath an ancient sea. As the Earth's crust gradually rose, massive granite peaks climbed more than 6,000 feet into the sky, creating a labyrinth of mountains through which clouds continue to drift every day. Rather than reshape the landscape, people followed its contours. They carved more than 60,000 stone steps into the sheer cliffs. After more than 15 centuries, these pathways still guide visitors across the sea of clouds much as they did in the beginning. Yet the most enduring feature is not the stone. In its cold, humid climate, where mist lingers through most of a year, Huanshan supports 1/3 of China's moss families and more than half of its fern families. The nearly 1,000-year-old greeting pine still grows directly from solid rock, as if time has only made it stand more firmly. Few places reveal this more clearly than Huanshan. Nature created the towering cliffs, while people and time together transformed them into a symbol that has endured across civilizations. Some mountains rise above the clouds. Huanshan reveals why a landscape can endure forever in the human imagination. Stretching nearly 22 miles, Enchi Grand Canyon is known as China's Colorado of the East. Rising through a sea of clouds, the 500-foot incense stick pinnacle reaches straight into the sky. Yet the greater wonder lies deep within the canyon's cliffs. The Yunlong geological fissure splits the canyon between two cliff faces that appear to be part of the same rock mass. In reality, each belongs to a different geological era. One was formed during the Triassic period, while the other dates back to the Permian period, as if the Earth had accidentally exposed layers of its own history. Amid this landscape, the incense stick pinnacle poses another question. Nearly 500 feet tall, yet only about 13 feet wide at its narrowest point, the rock column has remained standing for tens of millions of years. Beside it, the nearly 1,000-year-old welcoming pine continues to grow directly from solid granite, where life seems as though it should not exist. Today, the world's longest outdoor escalator carries visitors along the cliffside, surrounded by the roar of waterfalls, cool drifting mist, and layers of clouds floating below their feet. In 2024, the entire Enchi Grand Canyon, Tinlone Cave landscape was designated a UNESCO Global Geopark. Few places allow people to observe rock layers separated by tens of millions of years, then stand before a slender stone pillar that has quietly endured the passage of time. Enchi Grand Canyon does more than reveal a canyon. It reveals how the Earth preserves its history within every cliff face. Some valleys are carved by rivers. Wolong was created when the ground itself disappeared. Beneath sinkholes more than 650 feet deep, three massive natural stone bridges span the open void, while clouds drift quietly below the canyon rim. Over the past 128,000 years, enormous underground caves gradually collapsed, leaving behind tinking sinkholes with almost vertical rock walls. The Xiaoxiyuan sinkhole stretches about 0.6 miles, so vast that the famous sinkholes of the American Appalachian region seem like miniature versions by comparison. What sets Wolong apart is not only its scale. In 2005, geologists confirmed that the Haoping sinkhole cluster is one of the few places on Earth formed by surface water drilling downward into the ground, rather than by the collapse of cave ceilings from below. This isolated ecosystem now supports hundreds of animal species, including many cave-dwelling creatures previously unknown to science. Hidden beneath these towering cliffs are villages that have endured for generations. After the 2009 landslide disaster, Wolong gradually transformed from a mining region into an ecological heritage site, where more than 100,000 residents now make their living by preserving the very landscape that has sustained them. Deep beneath the immense natural stone bridges, a world almost separated from the surface continues to exist, where people live among towering cliffs and the sky has become little more than a narrow ribbon of light. Wolong does more than reveal a canyon. It unveils a world that nature has quietly hidden beneath its own surface. If the Earth once had a palette of colors, one corner of it must have fallen upon Dongchuan. Red earth, terraced fields, and ribbons of crops blend into a landscape stretching nearly 31 miles across a plateau rising to 8,500 feet in the cool mountain air. Dongchuan's red color is not the glow of sunset or an effect of the light. Soil rich in iron and aluminum has stained the plateau with rare shades of red, spreading across elevations even higher than Denver. Between them, strips of farmland change color with the seasons, turning the landscape into a canvas that is constantly transformed. At Uepu Ao, terraced fields form parallel lines like the staff of a giant musical score, while farmers become the moving notes upon it. Nearby, Loasawan curls into natural spirals that resemble the shell of a giant snail when viewed from above. On this windswept plateau, a fir tree more than 1,000 years old withered for 3 years before unexpectedly sprouting new growth again. While local people see it as a symbol of resilience, they are also racing to protect the red earth from increasingly severe erosion and desertification. A red plateau may be shaped by geology, but only time, people, and life can transform it into a landscape that never stops changing. Dong Chuan reminds us that sometimes a wonder is not carved from stone, but cultivated season after season upon the earth itself. Some lakes reflect the sky. Kaunas seems to preserve time itself beneath its waters. This glacial lake, reaching depths of 625 feet, was formed around 200,000 years ago in the Altai Mountains, where the water constantly changes color and pine forests fill the cool mist with their scent. Few would guess that this tranquil lake was created when ancient glaciers retreated, leaving behind a vast basin later blocked by geological upheaval. That process formed China's deepest freshwater lake, a landscape that has led many to call it the Switzerland of the East. Its greatest mystery lies beneath the surface. Ancient tree trunks have rested on the lakebed for tens of thousands of years, yet remain remarkably well preserved, forming a rare underwater forest. Today, scientists have also discovered that the lake's ecosystem is changing more rapidly than they once expected. The Tuva people have long learned from nature. They soak fallen pine logs underwater for more than a year before using them to build houses, creating structures capable of enduring for centuries in the harsh climate of the Altai Mountains. Beneath the calm surface, tree trunks that refuse to decay have remained silent for millennia, making Kaunas a place where time itself seems to follow a different set of rules. At Kaunas, the greatest mystery does not lie upon the water, but rests quietly within the lake's own memory. From above, Dashanzi appears like a giant vein carved across the Gobi Desert. Steep gray-black cliffs plunge into a deep gorge, where cold winds sweep through the rock walls beneath the harsh Central Asian sun. Hundreds of millions of years ago, meltwater from the Tian Shan Mountains began cutting through ancient rock, gradually carving a canyon nearly 900 feet deep. Its almost vertical cliffs, narrow passages, and steep terrain have led many to compare it to an even more rugged version of the Grand Canyon. But Dashanzi preserves more than the past. Geological studies show that the Earth's crust in this region is deforming at an unusually rapid rate, revealing an active phase of tectonic movement still unfolding beneath our feet. This has turned the canyon into a natural laboratory where the planet continues to reshape itself. Between 1974 and 1983, tens of thousands of workers and soldiers carved the Duku Highway through this unforgiving landscape using hand tools. Today, the road does more than connect the mountains. It tells the story of human perseverance against a landscape that has never been easy to conquer. Standing at the canyon's edge, you are not simply looking down into a gorge. You are looking into a scar where the earth continues to change in silence. Some canyons preserve history. Dashanzi shows that Earth's geological history is still being written every single day. Amid the arid landscape of Xinjiang, the ground suddenly drops nearly 900 feet into a vast canyon. Layers of gray and black rock are stacked like the unfinished history of the planet. Wind sweeps across the cliffs, leaving the feeling that the Earth itself is still shifting. Over hundreds of millions of years, meltwater from the Tian Shan Mountains carved this canyon, creating depths of 650 to 900 feet and a canyon rim stretching up to 3,300 feet across. With its sheer cliffs, it is often described as a more compact and more dramatic version of the Grand Canyon. From above, the entire landscape resembles a giant vein cutting across the Gobi Plain. Layers of gray, black, and red rock twist into abstract patterns, while winter brings frozen waterfalls clinging to the canyon walls. Recent studies have also found that the rate of tectonic deformation here has increased significantly over the past 100,000 years. People, too, have left their mark on this harsh landscape. Between 1974 and 1983, tens of thousands of workers and soldiers carved the Duku Highway with simple hand tools, transforming an unforgiving terrain into a gateway across the Tian Shan Mountains. This great fracture is deep enough to swallow a 90-story skyscraper. Standing at its edge, even humanity's greatest structures seem insignificant. Dashanzi does more than expose the Earth's history. It reminds us that nature continues to redefine the limits of human ambition. Few mountains make the clouds become the ground. At the summit of Fanjing, rising 8,430 feet, two massive rock formations, split apart, remain connected by a narrow stone bridge, as if the entire mountain has defied the laws of collapse for 1.4 billion years. Reaching the summit is no easy journey. More than 8,000 stone steps climb along sheer cliffs, a hike roughly equivalent to walking to the top of the Empire State Building nearly 5 times. But the reward is not the elevation. It is the feeling of walking among clouds that blanket the mountain for more than 200 days each year, where the oxygen-rich air has earned it the name, China's natural oxygen bar. Amid a vast landscape of limestone, Fanjing rises like an island of metamorphic rock. The massive mushroom rock remains balanced on a stone base only about 10 feet wide, while the red cloud golden summit was split apart by a deep fissure and reconnected by an astonishingly narrow stone bridge. Its greatest wonder lies beyond what the human eye can see. In just the past few years, scientists have documented 771 additional species and discovered 28 species completely new to science. It is also the last refuge of the Guizhou snub-nosed monkey, a species found nowhere else but within this ancient forest. Upon 1.4 billion-year-old rock, two temples still stand on opposite sides of the abyss, as though untouched by time. After climbing 8,000 stone steps, the site makes gravity itself seem like little more than a suggestion. Fanjing was not created to be conquered. It exists to remind us that nature will always reach beyond the limits of human imagination. Amid the humid forests of Yunnan, a river flows without water. Mingyong carries an ancient glacier stretching 7.3 miles down into a landscape where trees continue to flourish, blurring the boundary between winter and summer in a single glance. Fed by snow from Meili Peak, rising more than 22,100 feet, the Mingyong Glacier extends downward and ends at an elevation of only about 8,900 feet. It is the glacier with the lowest latitude and lowest terminus elevation in China, a geological paradox that few places on Earth still preserve. What makes Mingyong extraordinary is not the ice alone. The ancient glacier tongue pushes directly into a dense green forest, creating a fragile boundary between two worlds. While the glacier continues to retreat, the forest line quietly advances, reclaiming ground that once belonged to the ice. For the local Tibetan people, Mingyong is more than a landscape. It is a sacred place. Yet that symbol has retreated by about 660 feet in just 4 years, as an annual ice loss of nearly 7% steadily reshapes both the landscape and the communities that depend on its meltwater. Each year, glaciers across the Tibetan region of China lose about 7% of their area. Beneath this remarkable beauty lies a terrifying countdown. Mingyong is not disappearing in a single moment. It is quietly leaving the world, one season of ice at a time. Every sense of scale becomes meaningless upon entering Jijin Cave. Beneath the mountain, colossal chambers and forests of stalagmites rise from the darkness like a city buried by time. Every drop of water echoes through the cavern, making the space seem deeper still. Hidden beneath the Guizhou Plateau lies an underground world spanning more than 7.5 million square feet, where a natural rock vault stretches up to 575 feet without a single supporting column. The chamber is roughly 20 times larger than the big room of Carlsbad Caverns, making every familiar measure of scale seem almost meaningless. If its immense size is what overwhelms visitors, the details within are what make Jijin almost unbelievable. Stone columns nearly 230 feet tall rise like the trunks of giant trees, while the silver rain tree stands like a white crystal tower, patiently sculpted by water over approximately 150,000 years. Exploring Jijin is also a physical challenge. More than 2,000 stone steps descend into the cave, where temperatures remain between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit, humidity coats every step, and the sound of dripping water echoes endlessly through the darkness. The 575-foot wide stone vault continues to stand silently above the cavern without a single supporting pillar. Look up, and this stone wonder challenges every limit of engineering and imagination. Jijin does more than reveal a cave. It unveils a world where time continues to shape the earth in darkness. Places where maps become meaningless. Daoqing Yading is one of them. In its thin mountain air, glacial lakes, forests, and valleys seem to exist together in a world separated from the rest of the earth. At an average elevation of about 13,250 feet, Yading is one of the highest nature reserves in Asia. Its tallest peak rises to nearly 19,800 feet, while Daoqing Yading Airport sits at approximately 14,500 feet, nearly the same elevation as the summit of Mount Whitney. From the moment an aircraft touches the runway, the thin air becomes the first thing people notice. Perhaps Perhaps it is that very feeling that has long made this place seem suspended between reality and legend. The three sacred mountains Chenrizig, Chana Dorje, and Jampuyang surround glacial lakes fed by melting ice. High on the slopes, barren rock fields resemble the surface of Mars, while Milk Lake and Five Color Lake continually change color beneath shifting sunlight. Tibetan monasteries more than 800 years old still rest beneath the snow-covered cliffs. Despite these harsh conditions, Yating is home to 1,126 species of vascular plants and 291 species of vertebrates, including the snow leopard and the black-necked crane. In 1931, botanist Joseph Rock introduced this land to the world through National Geographic, helping inspire the idea that it may have been the real-world inspiration for Shangri-La. Standing among the three sacred mountains and glacial lakes reflecting the sky, it becomes difficult to tell where geology ends and the legend that brought Shangri-La into the world's imagination begins. As clouds close around the mountain peaks, Daoqing Yating once again makes geography and myth seem to exist side by side. Amid towering sand dunes, hundreds of blue lakes appear quietly, as if the desert has forgotten it was meant to be dry. Standing before this landscape, the boundary between sand and water no longer seems to follow familiar rules. The dunes of Bad Einjeren rise to 1,150 feet, the tallest on Earth, towering above the Great Sand Dunes of Colorado. They appear to be shaped only by the wind, yet every layer of sand conceals a different story. Moisture measurements beneath the surface still preserve traces of a climate from more than 1,185 years ago, while the lake system has existed continuously for at least 33,000 years. Deeper among the crescent-shaped dunes, more than 140 lakes continue to endure in a region that receives almost no rainfall. Some salt lakes even contain small travertine islands, formed not by shifting sand but by fresh groundwater rising continuously from deep underground under high pressure, creating a rare geological paradox. For nearly a century, expeditions have returned here with the same question. Why do these enormous sand mountains remain so remarkably stable? Satellite data show that the northeastern dunes continue to migrate by as much as 40 feet each year, while scientists warn that even minor human activity could disrupt this delicate balance. Some deserts are shaped by the wind. Bad Einjeren continues to endure because of the quiet flow of groundwater, guarding its secret for tens of thousands of years. The world still holds landscapes that quietly challenge everything we once believed to be familiar. And many more hidden worlds are still waiting to be discovered.